Starting. Welcome back, listeners and viewers, or whatever you're doing, or however you do this. You're jogging, you're walking, you're talking, you're I don't know, petting your dog. We're the Road Contenders, and we are here for this week's episode. We're down for two for this week because our guy, Jay Crane, is out celebrating his, what he said, ninth year wedding anniversary. Everybody knows that marriage is definitely a process, so we congratulate him on his 9 years. He got a babysitter for the kids, so he is out with his wife, having fun with his wife. So we want him to have a great time. I'm not jealous like I was when he went on his cruise. Now that was I don't know, Drake, if you saw the pictures of him on the cruise.
No, I didn't see pictures.
So that cruise was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. The food looked luscious. The fruit was like its actual colors. I did. I told him, I said, I hope you fall in the river. I did. I said that. I said, I hope you can't swim. See, like it was a beautiful cruise, and he said that it was an amazing time. But we are here to talk about some things. And guess what this is? It is what? A couple days after official release?
Yeah, set 2 is now live.
Which has been amazing. I know people are still getting their cards. People getting stuff from Team Covenant. I know some people are still getting their stuff from Ryotin CCG. I would say I don't even want to blame Alpha Class. I don't want to blame Rising Empire for these delays, but I would say this has been the most delayed I've seen getting product on release day, and I'm not sure that's a good or bad thing.
It's probably just a unfortunate Black Friday thing. I bet they figured this might happen when they moved it up. It was supposed to be a early November release, not a late November release. So they knew better than to do that under normal circumstances, but weirdness happened, and it was the best they could do. And
yeah, like I said, because a lot of our stuff either shipped out, and then we had issues where it was picked up, but USPS didn't scan it. So I had to create an entire order, like incident report, to get those. Basically, have somebody can actually scan them. So they're moving. But it's just one of the things where it's been hell, and then what I've been hearing from the distributor level is that a lot of people didn't get their stuff from the distributor until like the day of, and then had to go and send it out.
Yeah, I'm still missing my case, and I'm kind of getting a little bit worried, given that the last update I have was from 12.4 saying that was still moving. Let me live update that real quick. Yep, still in transit December 4th.
Okay, so yours is still going?
It's not even a 4th, it's the 6th.
And see, and I don't know if it's something on, because is yours coming through FedEx, UPS? Like how's it coming?
That's USPS.
Okay, so I'm not sure. I think it's something on USPS sites, because when I say every single
it's definitely their fault.
Like
Team Covenant sent it out when they were supposed to. It's just USPS got delayed.
Like I said, because every single order that was picked up on Monday has not updated tracking at all.
Wow!
Boy! Every single order that they got, one didn't. I said again, lots of didn't even get here until Saturday night. So I was missing half of people's orders Saturday night. Finally got them in, got them packaged up. Cool. Set it up Monday. They came and picked it up. They came late as hell on Monday. They got to my place about Monday at like 7 p.m. So I'm already irritated. And then come Wednesday, the tracking still has not been updated at all. And what made me so upset is the fact that my stuff, I got ordered something from Japan, and it came through FedEx, who is notorious for messing up. That came on time. I literally got something from Japan, from FedEx, on time. That alone is enough to make hell freeze over. Oh, Drake, I don't know. Did you cut out?
No, I just didn't have any. I didn't have any particular response to that.
Because it doesn't make sense. But I just want everybody to be able to get their products, so that way they can enjoy it and kind of experience what people are experiencing. Because I know I just put up a new video today where it was Clarity versus Death. An amazing match, but the match was recorded before the errata came out. So
I don't think it mattered though, because I don't think you actually played incoming support at any point.
And that's what I couldn't remember if I did or not. I don't think I did, because I said I think when I built that particular deck, I actually have the deck right in front of me. I can tell you what's in it. I think I only run one incoming support in the entire deck. Okay, yeah.
Well, really, you should be running the other ones anyway. They're better.
I have
they're
three.
harder to use, but they're better.
I have 3 copies of Restoration and then 1 copy of incoming support. And I think the only reason I did that was because I didn't have a foil, like a 4th foil copy of Restoration.
Oh, that's why.
I think that's legit the only reason why, because again, I like Restoration, and again, like I think I've said it before the saving came out. Right now, my personal favorite deck, like for personal reasons, is Death. But I do think that War, Jesus Christ, is that deck is freaking ridiculous.
Have you seen some of the Pestilence in action? Because that can be really, really gnarly.
I feel like Pestilence is that deck that I feel like you truly need to be either sideboard for or just mentally be prepared for in any kind of tournament. Because if you're not, you're not going to survive a match against Pestilence. You're just really not.
Yeah, Pestilence is like Haven, but instead of stall, I win, it's control, I win.
And I'll say again, you have to be prepared for that matchup. I feel like the Haven matchup, it's annoying as it could be because it's a very defensive deck. If you could just outpace it, and that's why I love Death. And the card I love the most in Death is, again, I just got my deck in my hand, is Death.
2 cost?
Yes, Death to Dreadful. Like that card, we're cool. I'm going to swing. I'll just swing into a big body and just knock myself out. And cool, take 2 life, draw a card. And the fact that Death, when it really gets going, the portal's open, you can basically bring that card back and just loop it. Like, cool, I don't care about you being defensive. I'm just going to take your life away. Defend that.
Oh, you mean the spatial gateway?
Yes. And I feel like that's the biggest thing that can stop Haven. But again, if you're in a tournament and you're not running Death and you haven't sideboard in those cards to make that loop work, and if you're not prepared for a defensive game, I feel like even with War and the play testing that we did, War struggled against it because of those high defenses.
I think Conquest can beat her, because Conquest is a lot of big, doughy boys.
Yeah, and plus the thing that Conquest can restand a lot.
Oh, yeah. What's really funny is Conquest the Undefeated in the context of War. And you attack with it, and then you boost it with Decimation. And then he stands up after a victory where he does Breakthrough, and he attacks
and he does again. And also, while we're on the topic of cards, I said again, I love Set 2, and I'm mad that everyone's not here. Have you noticed there's so many? I don't want to say the word broken, because people hear broken go, oh, it's unbalanced. No, I feel like Alpha Clash is the most balanced game I've ever played. But it's so cool, because I know you mentioned before that the Legendary War can be bounced back to your hand with Gateway.
Spatial Gateway.
Yes.
Yeah, the Gateway saves War the Second Horseman.
Like
that is disgusting.
Like it's like you can literally put it back, And I'm like, this is so great. So again, I'm getting so excited. Um, but so I want to go through some things, and again, I know it's still new. A lot of people are not playing with the cards yet, but there's a couple cards that I have written down that I want to talk about. Get your personal opinion on, because there's some cards. These are cards that I truly do like, and I know a lot of people are not playing them in their list. The first one being, where is it? International Space Station.
That is an interesting one, but I think it's more of a, if you do not have access to somewhere in San Francisco, play International Space Station if you want to have that kind of effect.
And like, the reason why I play it, because I think I play it at either 3 and 4 in some of my decks, and when I'm still building. I do it just because it's a zero cost ClashGround that I can play to get rid of something. And I think that's the only reason why I play it, is that it's a free cost. I can play it, get rid of ClashGround that I don't want out.
Maybe. It's probably going to come up as a sideboard option against Death, where Death's Doors definitely, by leaps and bounds, the most powerful ClashGround we see.
Yeah, I like, and that's another one on my top that I want to get into, because I got that labeled under cards that I feel like will be banned in the next 3 to 6 months, and Death's Door is high on that list.
Yeah, I think what's going to save Death's Door from the ban hammer is the fact that it costs 4 on 3 devotion.
Which, and I feel like until it's a lot of acceleration for each color, I think that will save it for a very long time. But I feel like each color starts getting like resource acceleration. It's going to definitely go there. Now, my next card to bring up is Conquest the Domineer. Should this be in everyone's sideboard, or should it be in everyone's main deck?
If you care about the portal. Only if you care about the portal, and if you do, you should probably be running it at least 3, if not 4. I could conceivably imagine running it at 3 if you still care about the portal, but not like tremendously. Like, there are a lot of conquests that aren't too stuffy about the portal, because you get good stuff either way.
Moving on. Next
But
one. Like I think
one of the most important is running domineering in Death, because Death cares about it a lot.
Yeah, like I run 4 copies and Death and War. Yeah, 100% War. Like I love, like when I was playing War. That's probably the next video I post up. I loved using Domineer to turn the portal off, and then playing the 4-cost War to turn it back on and get the 2 tokens. I just like that ability to, like, I can control it. And
I don't think you have to do it that way. I think you can just choose to not activate the portal and then make the tokens anyway.
And that's why that's one card I was extremely confused about on the wording, because it says, let me
Strikebringer. I know what you're talking about.
Right. So I'm so confused. Like, okay, do I have to activate or do I not have to activate? Because it says activate.
It says you may activate the portal.
Right, and then it says like, you may activate the portal and then summon 2 War Minion tokens.
Yep. So the portal is optional.
Okay, so will I still get, my question? Will I still get the tokens if I don't activate the portal?
Yes. There is only one case in Alpha Clash right now where the portal must be activated, and that's Casualties of War.
Yeah, and
is a very strange wording, to the point where I imagine there is a non-zero possibility that it could get errated.
And what's
it so weird?
And there's another new card that came out that I thought had some weird wording, and I didn't write it down. And I can't think of what it was right now, but it's a white card.
What to do relatively?
Oh, you know what? There it is. The cards that say, because somebody asked me this before, and I'm like, I feel like in Alpha Class you do as much as you can. it doesn't. They don't really care if you don't do it. So somebody said if you can't engage a card, you can't play the one of the conquest card. You know, the 4 costs that when you play it, you.
Yeah.
I said no. I don't think that's how that works. I feel like you do as much as you can. I don't think that if you can't engage a card, you can't play the card. It's
Good question. I actually looked this one up. Apparently, do you know what fail to find means?
Yes.
Essentially, Alpha Clash has fail to find. So you can choose to target and then go, I don't see a target. And then just proceed on with other effects. So yeah, you can play that conquest, and whenever it says target, you can choose to target nothing. This also is incredibly important for the Pestilence Mayhem Maker because it targets one clash. It doesn't say it has to be an opponent's clash, and it gives it -1/-1 on a -1/-1 body. So if there was no fail to find, it could potentially be forced to kill itself.
Oh, and then here's another one, and hold on, I'm about to choke myself. I was reading up on the rules because I said again when the judge program comes out, I definitely want to apply for that. About because there's a new ruling, not new ruling, but new updated for the 0/1 cost contenders, where they state, you know, when you deal damage, if I deal 1 damage to like Haven's stats now are 0/0.
If it's non-clash damage,
correct.
Functionally, yes. It technically does apply to clash damage as well, but it eventually wears off after the clash is over. But it's basically irrelevant.
But the thing I didn't see in there, and I read through it a couple times, might have missed it. Does it go to 0 and stop, or does it go into negatives?
It goes into 0, and then any remaining damage goes into health.
Okay, and that's why I wanted clarification on, because when we're play testing, I'm like, okay, I know you go to 0 and you try to clash buff. You know, it's just it's not 1 + 1. It's 0 plus whatever the clash buff says to do. And that's what I wanted, especially with these new contenders with that and how defensive these things are. I definitely want people who are going to play to kind of know, like, hey, if you are dealing damage, non-clash damage, you're doing effect damage, it will stay until the end of turn.
Yes. Minuses also generally stay until the end of turn. I can't think of a minus that... actually, no, I can't think of a minus that doesn't wear off. That's that one Pestilence card. The one that's -2/-0 to non-Harbingers. And then Underground Subway, that's another one that sticks around. But generally, if you'll have minus effects that only last until end of turn. Usually Pestilence stuff.
Do you like Underground Subway?
I'm looking to see if I can make use of it. It could be hilarious in like Moxie or Haven contexts. Or even Pestilence contexts. I mean, you could take a Pestilence deck, slap down Underground Subways or ClashGround, and then you need at least 3 attack on your clashes in order to get through.
And then here's another card I have on the list here. I know we briefly talked about it, but that's why I stopped the conversation. I want to talk about it on a podcast. Bone Armor.
Not really a fan. It kind of costs a lot for what it does. It could be more effective later, and it's clearly meant to synergize with Death Agent of the Dark, the 1 cost that keeps coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly the Death Relentless that kind of also comes back, but with a bigger body. But the point of Bone Armor is basically to just staple Necrotic to something. But I'm not a huge fan of weapons right now. Weapons always are going to have to beat the standard question of, is this more effective than just punching the contender in the face really, really hard?
And that's why I said,
I don't think most there is one weapon that I think actually can hit that threshold, and I wonder if we're going to bring it up.
Is it a new one?
Yes. If you don't, I will.
To be honest, The only weapon I've looked at this entire set has truly been bone armor, and that's it. So what is the other weapon that I'm not thinking of?
Convergence.
Okay. What color is it?
White. It's the big hammer.
Oh, okay. I'm not a fan. I'm not saying it's a bad card. It's because it's not. I'm just like, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's good. I think if you play it against someone, they're really not going to know what to do against it. I'm just not sold on it yet.
Oh, convergence is so nuts because think of convergence kind of like what energy absorption was relative to Torque the Uncontrollable in Set 1. It turns something into the really powerful epic.
Which, like I said, I guess also because it's an exclusive.
Yeah, that is a thing.
Like I get what it's like Warhorn. I understand fully why Warhorn is an exclusive. You have one out. I don't understand why Convergence is a one out.
I imagine mostly for A, flavor reasons, and B, because of its anthem effect. If Convergence is not equipped, all your conquests gain +1/+0 during your opponent's turn. And if you're running the Conquest Contender, you already get +1/+0 on your turn. So essentially, with Conquest, you don't even have to equip the weapon. It's always giving you that buff until you attach it, and then it goes even nuttier.
So, okay, during your opponent's turn, when this card is in your accessory zone, Conquest class cards get +1. Okay, so, okay.
An effect on a weapon that applies when the weapon is unequipped is an interesting design space, and it's a really powerful design space because now you no longer have to glue the weapon to somebody in order for it to work.
So you can just keep it onto your accessory and get the buff over to all your class.
Also, imagine what this does to Moxie. Because Convergence doesn't care what it equips, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Attached Clash card. 1/0 breakthrough. Yeah, the only thing relevant to Conquest is the fact that it buffs Conquests when it's unequipped. But if you slap this thing on a Moxie, you could slap other things on a Moxie.
You know what? I don't want to talk about Moxie ever. Like, it can work, but fuck Moxie. I'll say it the day I die. Oh, you know what? Like, okay. I actually did have Convergence. Actually, I'm looking at it. I did have Convergence on one of my lists. But right next to Convergence, I had Warcry Spirited. Like, I feel like Warcry Spirited Fighter is an amazing card, and I'm so happy that Warcry finally has a good card.
Right? A good card. What are you talking about?
That's not a good.
Sign of Hope was great.
That is not great.
Yes, it's about to get even better. You know why it's called Warcry? Because it makes war cry.
No, I refuse to believe that, but I will say that Spirited Fighter is a great card. For our listeners, Warcry is a 3-cost 3/3. Screw the stats. Enter the portals open, may put an alpha or rogue class card in this risk cards of one or less from your hand to your class zone. I love things that do this.
I'm definitely seeing Spirited Fighter as more of either a Magnate Babies kind of card, or like a Haven specific card in order to get out like Haven 1 cost, like Resourceful Helper and Clever Adolescent, I want to say.
Yes. Now if it did 2 cost, can you imagine playing the Haven, Battlefield Collector triggers? I would be in heaven. That's what I did there. Haven, heaven. fun times.
Oh no. Oh no. I just thought of another thing that it could bring in. Torque Uncontrollable is a legit target.
It is a target. It's a one cost.
It's a one cost alpha.
It's not, like I said again, now you see why I say that they printed a great war cry card, because it can even bring in the one cost pestilence. This card's amazing.
No, it can only bring in alphas and
rogues. Okay, never mind. Not harbingers. So they had to nerf my boy somehow.
which is why I think he's kind of a magnate card.
Which is insane. Even though I feel like I don't ever want to say Magnate's falling off, because I feel like Magnate. I think the Contender, compared to what's out now, as a Contender, he's definitely kind of like the. I don't care about your 2 defense no more. Like, no one cares about the 2 defense no more. Like, I'm about to run over you with breakthrough.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, in the context of war, but the problem is Magnate can't block enough. Even Max Babies isn't going to be able to block enough.
Really?
Yeah, you could get a stupid amount of war tokens on the board.
Yeah.
And a Warhorn from a previous turn. Heck, Warhorn on the turn it's played, if the portal's open, you will end the turn with two war minions.
I think one of y'all play I had 12 war minions out. And I was just setting them up, and I'm like, cool, let's go ahead and 2 for 2 for 2 for 2 for 2.
That's the dream.
Okay, next card I had on here was 8-10 Warthog.
That is going to depend on Moxie, and I haven't looked much into Moxie just yet. I've mostly been, of the set 1 contenders, I've mostly been looking into Torque for obvious reasons. So I do think, speaking of Torque, I do think A10 Warthog can theoretically be really good because of just that tap to deal 1 damage to a target or 2 to an alpha. The problem is it can't hit contenders, to my knowledge.
No, his primary phase may engage this card, deal 1 damage to target Clash card. The Clash card is alpha, deal 2 instead.
Yeah, so it's not like Flare. Flare is going to be very important in set 2.
I feel like at first I made a joke about it in the Clash kit, like, oh, he gave us a Flare reprint, but after literally, I think we played Monday for 12 hours straight, which is every single deck we could think of. Flare is 100% probably one of the most needed cards in decks to really soften up bodies or clear out boards. I feel like
ding the 0-1s.
Exactly, and I feel like I truly feel like if you can make room in your sideboard for Flare, I feel like it's a card that you should definitely have in your sideboard. If you're going up against a Haven or a Pestilence deck, Haven in particular, because that card will literally save you from getting Exodia'd.
Yeah, also, it's why you might want to be looking into things like Solar Smash, Favorable Outcome, and I wonder if this is on your list, Alternative Strike.
Alternative Strike is not on my list, and it didn't make the cut, but I do want to talk about it.
Yeah, it is a very interesting card. If you can keep the portal reliably open or are up against somebody that reliably likes to have the portal open, this is great against war because the portal is usually going to be open when war ends their turn.
Mm-hmm.
And it might even be good against Death, against like these weird bone armor builds if Death tries to play anything like that. Or maybe if Death tries to play handguns for some stupid reason.
I'm sorry, don't play that card. Like
But yeah, Alternative Strike being able to take out anything that's not a trap, so it's not quite as good as a Magnate's Plan or an H Defender, or better yet, a Magnate's Tyrant. But it has that ability. And if you were in a position where you can get both, you can really make a Pestilence player's day very, very unfortunate.
Right, and let's see. Like, I find it's not really a lot of blue cards that's worth talking about that we haven't talked about before. I know Raging Plasmax is a great card, but I feel like blue this time around, I'm not gonna say they had bad cards. They just had cards. So
Blue has selfish cards. Most of them are relying on Haven, who has a very specific game plan that doesn't like playing with others.
Like it literally, like every blue card is kind of really. And I'm kind of upset because even in the Clash kit, you got some cards that kind of help out streak counters, but you really didn't have anything that made. So I don't have any blue cards really on my list besides the talking point about the Haven Exodia, which we talked about to death, and other episodes.
Not even Clever Adolescent.
No. I just
really that's what I thought was interesting.
I had Haven revoked on here at one point, because I thought it was I think it's really cool. I think it's very cheeky if you get a full board of a bunch of Havens. It's like, oh, it's a big Haven, but that free defense is kind of like, who cares? I'm just gonna break through to this.
Yeah, the idea is that by the time it attacks, you're dead.
Yeah, because I'm like, if I'm sorry, if you're playing a Haven deck and Haven Provoked is your win con, you're not playing the deck correctly. At that point, just play something. Just play something else. Like, grab yourself a different contender, grab yourself a war, and run a war with blue-white Haven and have a good day. I do have Shrapnel on here, which I like Shrapnel a lot. I just hate that its truly big benefit comes from running Machina.
Yeah, I haven't looked too much at Machina, honestly.
It's not bad. I feel like it is a deck that I truly feel like in set 3 will have a little bit more cards to do for it. It's very, very cheeky. I say definitely it will benefit a lot from Haven Bountiful Collector with being inside this deck because you can recur them back to your hand. It's a very slow, drawn out way. I just feel like a lot of things will outpace it with it trying to do the damage. I feel like you'll have to mix Torque. You gotta mix Haven. You gotta mix Machina cards. You gotta mix too much into it to get to that win con that you can get by just playing Torque.
Yeah, Machina kind of had the misfortune of sharing a Clash kit with the new Mean Streak, and the Mean Streak had a really killer 15 ability.
Yes, because like his 25, like Machina's 25 ability is again, it's cool, but again, when you look at it compared to other drawing contenders, War is the best.
War is the one most likely to get his off, I would say. Though in certain matchups, Conquest is pretty reliable.
Conquest is reliable. Death is... at one point when I was playing Death, I had a 20-card hand.
I always thought Death was kind of the hardest to hit. Because if you're doing like a pure death deck, then yeah, it's probably going to hit a lot. But if you're doing any kind of hybrid deck, which pretty much all the decks that we're on now need to be some kind of hybrid because the cards just aren't good enough and we don't have enough death names for it to really make everything in this deck is named death kind of deck.
The death,
I don't think we ever will hit that, honestly.
Because the death I'm running white black, and I run a lot of death cards. I did take out one of them because after playing, I'm like, this is god awful and terrible. So the deaths that I'm running are, I'm running Death Relentless, Agent of Dark, Stalking Spectre, because, I mean, god, that card is amazing. And, Death the Dreadful for that end loop. I'm running Death the Endbringer, I am running the Clarity Harbinger of Death, and then I run the Haven package.
Yes, you're not running Death 4.
No, hell no. Oh my god, no. Oh my god, that card is so terrible. Oh my god, I hate calling cards terrible, but after I'm looking at this card is terrible.
I think I know what Death 4 is for, but it's not for a strategy I like. It's for Death War.
Right, it's for Death War, and it's for I don't know. Like, so for the listeners, it is trigger on attack, so it can whenever it attacks, you may say a number of clash cards controlled to oblivion. If you do, this card gets +2 to end turn for each clash card sent to oblivion this way. So it can hit high, but again, you're using war in their tokens because it doesn't say that you have to send death cards. That's the better way to play it than try to play in death. Because remember, you can send multiple cards, but off of death skill, you will only draw one.
Or just send like your Havens or your Moxies that you're definitely using anyway.
Yes. And they have two or more. When two or more cards were sent to oblivion by this effect, it gets breakthrough. Again, I personally, if there's a way to give this card super speed and have it work with the tokens, I would that I feel like that if it's in a deck that gives it super speed with the generating tokens, this will be that will be a threat to anything you play.
Yeah, you can't make it super speed naturally, but you can't make it super speed retroactively, at which point I think it's kind of pointless.
At that point, you're using 3 cards to do a one combo. That's too much resource. And that's why I said I put it in the deck at first because it had death in the name, but playtest the same way with bone armor. I'm like, yeah, this can come out. Next card I had on here, it is the 1 cost, white ClashGround. Where is it?
Hidden Pathway?
Yes. I actually like this card. But I feel like it telegraphs way too much. And since it's telegraphing way too much, as soon as I play a Hidden Pathway, what cards can counter whatever ClashGround I play next? There's a lot of them. And I feel, even though I do like it, I like what it does. All you gotta do is find a way to either close the portal or have a card that destroys my ClashGround as soon as I play it, because those cards do exist. And they activate from hand. So then I just wasted an entire turn and I wasted a draw.
If you chess it out, there's kind of a way to make Hidden Pathway kind of interesting in Conquest specifically. The trick is, if you're up against somebody who runs Conquest Domineering, you play Hidden Pathway, and then you set up your Conquest Domineering for next turn, or maybe even don't have one at all. That's not the point. And what you do is, next turn, the opponent's going to play a conquest. No, wait. You have to set this up such that. See, this play it's bad.
I see. Like again, your theory craft is where I was like, where I was like, I gotta do way too much to get what I want this to do.
It's too much to search. It ain't Grant Park, Chicago.
And I'm sorry, Grant Park, Chicago gets a special shout out because it has so many more targets now.
Grant Park, Chicago, the Lynn Finder has now more targets.
Like, it has so many more targets. It even has Warcry as a target. I love it.
It had Warcry as a target before.
No, the new Warcry. Like, you can search out the new Warcry and go, cool, let me go ahead and flood a board.
Yeah, you can search out the old Warcry too.
Yeah, okay, but stop it. We're not making, you know what? I challenge you to make a Warcry deck. I just want to see it.
I can't make a Warcry deck, but I can make Warcry a win con.
You know what? I would love to see that. Like I really, and I feel like anybody that can do it would 100% be you. but I need to see it because I'm shitting on Warcry, and I should leave him alone. He's not bad. It's just I'm being an asshole to Warcry. Next card I had on here, and I think it's I have two more. How do you feel about the new Kagan or Kagan or Kagan, has someone said before, and made my whole ears bleed?
Yeah, I think the canonical pronunciation, i.e., the one that Rising Empire goes with, is Kagan. So I don't know.
Someone said Kagan.
Anyway, the idea is that it's essentially how you take out Veil of Convergence or Bardigan Warhorn. That is what it responds to, and specifically, I think there are some Haven things it can respond to as well, but who cares?
I mean, literally. So would you say it is a mainstay or sideboard?
Definitely a sideboard. You bring it in if you need it, or if you need a bit of extra power. It doesn't have quite as much power as I would like for its cost, especially not when Conquest exists. But if you need a little more oomph, he's serviceable.
Like I said, he's not bad. I do believe it is a mainstay and staple. I would say 2 cards in your sideboard. Would you agree with that number?
And the problem with Kagan, I think Blazing Kagan or something like that, is that Magnate the Tyrant is only one more.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, and it also gives you flying. Oh, that's another question. Somebody asked me before.
Flying, trap destruction.
Somebody asked
weapon destruction.
Can it somebody said is a relic considered an accessory? I said yes, they both are on there. But a card that says destroy accessory, will it destroy a relic? I said yes, because it's an accessory.
Yeah, all accessories encompass relics, traps, weapons so far.
I said only card that cannot be destroyed that way is Haven. Haven, the relic thing. You know what I'm trying to say. That's
the Haven backpack and safeguard.
That's the only card that cannot be targeted or destroyed or bounced back to hand, right? Even though it's not a thing that's out yet, but it can't. You cannot do that. That is the only card that cannot be removed, and I don't think there's no way to remove counters right now either.
Yeah, but Haven's counter game is still really slow.
Yeah, even with that, I'm sorry, I think that field spell is terrible. I feel like you can just
one?
The one for Haven, like Haven's hidden arena or something like that.
Oh, that freaking thing! I thought you were talking about New Mexico. That one's actually New Mexico is interesting.
New Mexico has potential. That card is, I call it, if you can't find space in your deck, that's just your free resource. Whenever you draw it, just know you have a free resource that you don't care anything about, because you shouldn't be playing it. Like you just really should not play. I feel like for the amount of time it has to even be there for it to be beneficial, it will never get there. It'll cost 4, where you could play something else for 4 that will advance your game state. I don't think it's good. Now we had a way to cheese out the ClashGround without paying the 4 cost. Yes, I'll be all for it. But I don't feel wasting resources on cards that you're waiting for where now it's okay, cool. There's so many cards that can get rid of a ClashGround before it even gets a relic counter on
there. You can't actually play a ClashGround on Haven's Pocket Dimension of the turn it comes down.
No,
it does have some degree of self-protection. It's not that crap.
No, I mean like when it goes to your opponent's turn. No, you gotta wait a turn. Yeah. But still. Like I I'm just not convinced on it yet, but that's just how I feel about that one. I feel like one of the cards that needs to literally kind of cook a little bit longer, and we'll see where it goes.
The entire Haven strategy needs to cook a little longer.
Last card I had on here, not a big one, but I feel like I don't want to say it's a card, but it's more of a mechanic change. The portal. Do you feel like the portal really adds some fresh, new take to the game, or do you feel like it's?
I think the portal's going to cause a lot of misplays.
Yeah,
it's like you're going to activate cards and go, "Oh crap! The portal needed to be open for that one." And once people know what the portal is capable of, and like they'll see they'll see a face down trap, and you have a white and one other color ready to go. What is that card?
Hey, guess what? It's no longer Sharpshooter Boxing.
Or Magnate's Trap. There are other things now.
Oh, because like when I was playing, I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to do my thing, blah blah. Oh shit, you got one black up and you got a card face down. I don't know if it's a Piercing Darkness. I don't know if it's Sharpshooter Moxie. I'm like, ooh, I just can't go. Well, yeah, I'll play around that. I'm like, ooh, I don't know what this is.
The answer is change of scenery, because change of scenery is actually really cool, if not for that one problem.
Like I said, and I love that we have more traps because it's like, oh, or if somebody has one open, you don't know if they're going to clash buff you, or they have a trap, or they have a quick in their hand. You no longer know what your opponent has, and I think that is the most amazing thing. That I'm like, ooh, do you have a buff? Yeah. Do you have a trap? Do you have a quick?
Did you just curve off?
Or did you miss? Like, and that's the part I love that how set 2 is, where it's no longer cool. I'm gonna go ahead and do my thing, blah 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 blah. Oh, I'm gonna play around Sharpshooter Moxie. I don't care about that. Oh, I don't have any sets to play around that. Oh, Magnetic Trap, I'm gonna play around that. Blah blah blah. Okay, you're tapped out 0. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and plan for the clash buff. Whatever. It's like cool. What? Why do you have energy? Or even, I think only one person put this card in their deck. I'm not gonna call them out. I don't think it should be in your main deck. But what is it? Warzone?
What's wrong with Warzone?
I don't think it's wrong with Warzone. I just think it should be in your main deck. Because you can. I mean, yeah, you can only play it if your opponent plays a ClashGround. So if your opponent doesn't play ClashGround, which again, I don't know anybody who does not play ClashGrounds. I don't know. I think the restriction.
That's not how Warzone works.
Am I thinking about the right one? Because counterplay.
Warzone's the one that statically boosts all your Harbingers by 1-0.
Yeah, no, because it says counterplay. You may only activate this effect when an opponent plays a ClashGround. Send a ClashGround to Oblivion. This answer play to then send the ClashGround to what?
Yeah, you follow what that means, right?
No. No, am I confused?
If you got Warzone out and somebody plays another ClashGround, like somebody tries to play Death's Door on top of your Warzone, what you can do is you activate Warzone, send it to Oblivion, and then the Death's Door is destroyed.
So it's gonna make you laugh.
Both ClashGrounds are gone. It's not that Warzone gets replaced. Warzone will destroy whatever ClashGround gets played on top of it.
So it's going to make you laugh. I thought Warzone was a quick ClashGround. They could only be played when your opponent played a ClashGround. So I thought Warzone was a card that's like, cool, I can only play this if you play a ClashGround as a quick effect ClashGround. That's literally what I've been thinking about for the past month.
No, it's a ClashGround with a static effect.
Well,
it's very, very good.
Well, we've all been wrong before. Some more than others. Okay, well, yeah, I'm wrong on that one. I'm definitely wrong on that front. Anyways, so our last topic for tonight, we kind of went on that one for a while. So it's going to be very kind of quick so we can wrap up and get out of here a little bit early. We are officially, come January, starting organized play season from next month. organized play starts off, how do you feel about organized play?
I would have been excited, but my cards haven't shown up yet, and I run
Oh
the
shit!
real the non-zero possibility chance of my cards not showing up by the start of this season.
Well, no, come on, it's still early in the month. Now, if your cards do not come by January, we have a whole new problem.
Yeah, somebody swiped something.
Like somebody thought it was Lorcana and couldn't read the AC and just said, "Yeah, I got me some Lorcana." Now I know the big one we talked about last week was going in Vegas at level. It's called, I think, Level Expo.
Oh, that's what it's called. That's the venue.
No, I'm not sure if it's a venue. I think that's an event. Like, but I'm really excited for that one. Like, I can't wait to kind of get out there and because again, I think everyone who's been playing Alpha Clash has seen the demo presentation. I am so curious to see how their tournament is going to run. That's what
I want to compete.
I said. I'm definitely going to compete. Because I'm gonna keep going back and forth. Like, hey, do I want to go out there and either commentate or do stuff? I'm like, no, I really want to play. Like, I really want to play. Like, if it comes down to it, if Realm asks me, hey, can you commentate? Then I will do it. But I really just want to play in a big event. I don't even care about scrub out. I just want to be a part of Alpha Clash's the first big tournament. I just want to say, hey, I played in it. It's kind of where I'm at with it.
I really think I could make some numbers in there.
Oh,
I have been doing just fine in my local scene, and this is like one of the first level 2 events, which essentially means it's one of the regionals. This is what gets you invites to the higher level national events.
which is,
So I'm wondering what kind of ranking do I need to get for that? Because obviously, I don't think there are going to be that many of these events before nationals. They haven't listed that many, just the Vegas one. Mm-hmm. So I imagine if I at least rank decently, I have a pretty good shot of getting invited to a national.
Yeah, because that's why I'm hoping, because they said they'll have organized play, everything set up to work correctly on the website. So I know they'll have that running, and it might be point based. I hope. I hope it's point based, but I hope it's not like, okay, hey, the top 8 ranked players in the world get to go.
Yeah, because if it's point based, that really punishes people like me who can't get out all the time.
Exactly, and I still haven't gotten any kind of yes or no. Will the webcam tournaments that we're going to start back up, hopefully, can be officially sanctioned tournaments? I feel like it allows people who can't always go to local or people who don't have locals to still be able to compete and play and not have to, travel to, places to, compete to try to win in top.
Yeah. It's like, I was mentioning how Vegas was a level 2. Those events that you're describing, the locals, those are level 1s.
Exactly. That's why I'm trying to get word on, can the webcam ones be level 1s that we run so that way people can get points and still get their prizing. I feel like, me and Terran Bros, we've been kind of running it. I've been working on trying to get stuff. Probably the reason why we had stopped is because I was waiting for the organized play to come out. So that way we can have official products that are dedicated for tournaments. Like, hey, this is the stuff you get for tournaments. This is the same stuff you'll get if you go to locals at an LGS. And I want it to be very uniform across the board. So there's no, if you're like, oh, this person gets better prizes. Oh, this person gets better prizes. No, it's uniform. If you go to LGS, this is what you get. You get your entry pack. When you get this, like, it's very uniform. The same thing I look at with Yu-Gi-Oh! You go to any Yu-Gi-Oh! OTS play, you go in, you get your OTS pack. winning, you get your packs. Like, it's very uniform. You know what you got. And that's what I want, because I don't want that inner competition. Like, oh, you're giving out 5 packs, I'm going to give out 6. I don't want that. I want it, hey, these are the rules. Oh, 1 pack per entry. Winners get this much. Winners get this. I want something that's from Rising Empire Studios saying, hey, these are the guidelines. And I feel like doing that makes it more accessible for everybody.
Yeah, and hopefully once all this official stuff is out, it's actually going to bring in a lot of people that were really excited for early tournaments and then sort of fell off when they heard that, oh, these rankings don't matter.
Yeah, and I feel like, and that's what I said. I haven't heard that. So is that a big thing going on?
Yeah, because these rankings are basically just testing the system and they're all going to get wiped away anyway. I'm hearing a lot of stuff where people aren't as enthused to necessarily compete in events, or worse yet, from the tournament organizers to properly conclude the events. I think I'm still actually registered in some tournaments that are still technically running because the event wasn't closed correctly.
Is it one of mine?
Because there's no incentive for them to close it. Who cares? It's all going to get shut down anyway.
And I said, I also like that they're going to go ahead and do that and kind of start it over. And I kind of do a refresh and have things work better. I just want people to follow the organization. Like, hey, if you're doing tournaments, run it through the website. Run it through the website. Don't use your own website. If you don't like it, try using Melee. It's the worst thing you will ever experience your entire life. Trust me, this is not bad.
Yeah, I heard it was kind of obnoxious for some people to use. Maybe not necessarily broken, but it certainly had some issues with it. I wasn't more privy to anything than that, but some people found it tricky to use.
Like, it was tricky. It's tricky to set up, but I feel like once you got it and it starts going, I don't like that you can't go in and kind of edit. Like, I'm trying to think, you can't go in and like pre-edit like how many rounds it's going to be. Like, it will automatically kind of do it, and and it won't tell you how many rounds it'll be until you hit start. And when you hit start, the timer starts. So for me, it's just kind of like that. Hey, that lobby thing. Like, hey, everybody, we're gonna have 6 rounds of Swiss. I want to get that introduction out. It won't tell me how many rounds it'll be until I hit start tournament.
And I hope the time kind of increases.
Really? So, because what is it? Is it 45 minutes?
I play the ones I see are 50, but the problem is if you're up against like a really stally drag things out deck, that game 1 will eat half your time.
And you know what? That's not the thing I got one more uniform about is I don't think I don't think we really have a true. Hey, this is the time limit, or hey, this is the true. I feel like a lot of people not make up, but kind of you played card games before, so everybody kind of knows, end of match rules. Which you start turn 0, turn 1, turn 2. Like we know that. Also, I want things about slow play. What are the rules for slow play? What are the rules for different different things like that? And I'm sorry, I don't want Tabletop Simulator to be an official way to play the game for tournaments.
Mm.
I feel like Tabletop Simulator definitely get together with your friends, play test. But I feel like for running any kind of like tier 1 events online, TTS should not be allowed.
Do you have any specific concerns about it?
Kind of biggest things where it's I want the game to grow, so I want people to go out and buy product.
That's your concern.
Like that's kind of the biggest thing is that for the game to grow, people got to go and buy products. If you have TTS that you're doing for official events, I now have no reason to ever buy products unless I go to a tier 2 event.
Yes, I think Tavern Brawlers recently, they used to be doing massive amounts of TTS events, but then they moved over to webcam by popular demand, including by me, mostly because I had the luxury of having all my cards, but now I don't. Placed by my own petard.
I know. One person that was in the group. He was very adamant about not doing webcams, but he wanted people to have like 2 cameras, one for your face. And I'm like, you don't need to do all that. I trust everyone in this community to have fair play.
Yeah, and I always provide any open information. I'll volunteer like hand counts, graveyard contents, or anything that you should be able to feasibly know if you were playing in person. I will volunteer that when I'm playing remotely.
Yes, and
because that can actually matter for decision making. Probably less in set 2 with the Clash buff being a bit more limited, but
and that's why I always say like I feel like the community is very no one is really out to try to cheat someone, and the people that are don't no one kind of deals with them. So I feel like again, you know, My Hero, they successfully run webcam events all the time where they have 2 formats where you have your webcam regional players and you have your in-person regional players. And they never really have issues. When they do, they take care of it quickly. So I feel like it's something that can be done. And it can really help broaden the game because, again, a lot of local stores are not picking up Alpha Clash yet because, unfortunately, and I'll say this, I don't blame Rising Studios for this at all. It's just that both their releases coincide right with fucking Lorcana. So you had Disney Lorcana that came out right on top of their set, and then make it worse that, set 2 came out at the same time as set 2 for Lorcana, and the next Lorcana set is coming out in February. That's why I'm happy that the next Alpha Class set is not until, what is it, March, April?
Unless you count the draft set.
Yeah, the draft set is February, and I feel like that will give Alpha Class some room to breathe.
That could potentially be really big. That's one of the things that I'm looking very forward to because that's how you get people drafting, and that's how you get people investing. Now, are you going to host any draft events?
I've not. I don't know too much about it. That's why I wanted to kind of get familiar with drafting, and that's kind of the biggest thing that I kind of want to know, like, about drafting and how that really works.
Yeah, there's some general rules. Some can vary depending on the kind of format or like different kinds of packs or something. It's like Wizards has like 20 different booster packs or whatever, and each one has different draft rules. Like, so they're double masters. It's like you pick the top 2, but generally the idea is that everybody starts. There's like 2 kinds of drafts. Either you start with 6 packs and they're sealed, or you start with 3 packs and then you open the pack. Take 1 card, pass it, and then take pack from the next person, take 1 card, pass it, etc., until it runs out of stuff.
Okay.
And for Alpha Clash, though, I think it would be better to do it at 5 packs because the second way to draft is Magic likes to do these pack things where you get 6 booster packs inside a sealed box, crack it open all those 6 packs, see what you can make out of that. And the Alpha Clash version of that is 10 booster packs. So if you're doing the ratios like that, 6 to 10, then you would think 3 for the draft is about 5 Alpha Clash packs. Now, I'm not sure how Alpha Clash would draft, but I think they would be well advised to move towards Magic system where essentially the way the draft works is that you have 2 of each color in common, and then you have 3 uncommons, and then 1 rare and possibly some kind of foil or a token or something of that nature. And you essentially do the whole take 1, pass it, take 1, pass it, etc., etc. And that would mean that if you crack a pack, you know you're going to see 2 of every color in common. So you're not just going to crack a pack and see, oh, this didn't have the color I want, crack. Oh, this didn't have the color I want, crack, etc.
Like the loose sleeves are in there.
This is loose sleeves.
Which I said I agree. That's again, like I said they haven't really gave any details about that, and I'm excited to see what it's going to be. And I said that's where my curiosity is kind of coming in. Like I want to know what the rulings are going to be. I know they said they will reprint some of the cards from they said set 1 and then some from set 2, right?
Yeah.
My curiosity is like, what are you going to reprint? Because I don't know unless they. Cause I know they're gonna reprint stuff in different rarities, but I'm very curious about that. And also another thing that kind of piqued my interest is they said they're, I think what in 2025 they said a new TCG.
2020, a new TCG?
That's I want to say that I hope it was a typo because I'm like
that sounds like it's the board game you're talking about.
no, they have board game on there, and then on the map it says something about a new TCG as well, and I'm like
maybe that's just another property under Rising Empire.
I mean, I hope not because that sounds expensive for my wallet. Because I'm gonna buy it. Like I'm 100% gonna buy it. And apparently, I also heard this. This is just people just chattering, so take this with a super grain of salt. That some people are getting notifications for the Kickstarter. I said that doesn't even make any sense because they would have made an announcement about it.
Which Kickstarter?
The novel about their stuff being shipped. I'm like, are you sure you're not talking about the novel, like the digital download for it? Because that's the thing, but no, like it's still being processed. Or no, it was somebody had showed up to Jersey, and they thought they were shipping out Kickstarter stuff.
No.
Like I'm like, not that I think they just showed that the jerseys are done. That's what they look like. That doesn't mean they're shipping anything. That just means that hey, these are the jerseys. That's not confirmation. Like you're not breaking the damn news. Like the last thing they put in here is November 7th, and then digital downloads came out. There's nothing. And then the community tab, for first party Alpha Clash. Oh, you can still buy stuff. Look at that. I'm actually gonna probably pick up some more of the soft cover books to kind of give to people.
You can still get stuff, huh?
Okay, looks like you can only get the books.
Oh.
We can get the books in the slab stands. So you still get that. You can get the graphic novel as a digital now. And then the book. I'm going to order some more books. I want to give those out to different people that I know to kind of get them to read it.
Yeah, me too.
Because somebody, like my brother asked me, hey, let me borrow your copy. I said, no. I'm like, absolutely, I'm not even going to, like, absolutely not. Like, you're not getting a first draft version of this book. I said, no.
Like, yeah, as soon as like some finalized ones come out, I'm going to sell them to some guys in my writers group that I was used to be in, and kind of still am.
I'm, like I was telling Ridge, my dad, he owned a comic book store in California, and he used to draw and write for Imagine in DC. So he is a comic book guy through and through. Like, he literally hates everything. And he enjoys Alpha Clash. Like, he truly enjoys it. Of course, he has some of his, comments to say, like I would say any old man does. But he said, in all in all, he really did enjoy it because he said his biggest thing about a lot of people who try to create anything superhero related, they build a world that's not believable, even to the people who are in that world. And he said, this story is like with how things are explained. He said, it's believable for this world, which makes you able to read it and lose yourself into it because now you're truly in a different place. Like to this day, one of his favorite books are Chronicles of Narnia. Like he loves the Chronicles of Narnia, which is super shocking to me in every form because he hates The Hobbit but loves Chronicles of Narnia. Because he said that the world
trying to see a through line.
I'm always like, I don't understand what you're saying, but okay. But he said like the way how the world building is, it truly draws you in where it's like you're in a different place, and it's believable because the rules they make up make sense for the world they built. And he'll say that the Hobbit really doesn't make sense even for their own world. I'm like, oh no, it kind of does. He said no, it doesn't. I'm like, oh okay. And then he'll go into his hour-long tangent about why it doesn't make sense, and I tuned out in 20 minutes.
Yeah, when you're getting all these proper nouns, half of which end in L or R.
And I'm just like, that's cool, Dad. Like, I'm sorry. Like he's the only person in the whole wide world who I know that hates the Christopher Nolan Batmans. That he truly hates all those movies, but loved the Robert Pattinson one. Which, when we debated about it, I did agree with him. I said, okay, I did say that the Robert Pattinson Batman is better than the Dark Knight. Because he told me, if you take out the Joker out of Dark Knight, is it a good movie? I said, no. He said, exactly. He said, take the Joker out the entire movie and just watch the movie and just skip past all the Joker parts. He said, I guarantee you'll say it's a terrible movie. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And he was right. But we're rambling now. We're gonna go ahead and end this episode of the podcast. So again, if you're liking what you're hearing, go ahead and download this to your streaming platforms. Keep it in your pocket. Watch it on YouTube, wherever you want to do. But this has been the Road Contenders. Drake, any closing statements?
That I really want to get to talking about the book, but I still have to keep tight-lipped about it.
I'm saying we're going to give that one more week.
Come on, Jay Crane.
Yeah, we're giving it one more week. Like that it's one more week, and next week's episode is going to be a spoiler discussion about the book. Like we can't hold off anymore. Like that next week it's going to be the whole episode is going to be a spoiler discussion about the book. Like, I'm sorry, because I mean at this point, if you're playing with the new card, the ClashGround, you already been spoiled, except for one moment.
Maybe two.
Yeah, actually, no, it is. It 100% is two. And I can say this: the first draft of the book made me go, "This is stupid." The second draft made me go, "Okay, okay." It's still dumb, but okay.
And I've never known a first draft of the book, or at least not the draft that you're talking about.
So the first draft that's the one I got to preview. So when the moment happened towards the end of the book, when a certain character got blitzed on, our main character Moxie was the most emotionless, stool-ridden person I ever seen in my life. Like had no emotion. Like it was literally, oh, you completed your mission. Good job. Like it was like, yeah, you're boring. Like I don't like you as a character. You're really boring. In the final version, you got that emotion, and when you read it, you felt it. from when somebody was pulled from the pool. You know what I'm talking about? And when a person, their light flickered out. That emotion that you got in the book and that part, that was not present in the original draft.
But more about that next week.
More about that next week. But again, we'll see everyone next week. Drake, you take care. Have a great night. And all you listeners, see you next Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes out. Damn it.